that you cannot skip the perfect day. I actually just redid my own perfect day uh, for my team in a way that like they could really feel like why I do this is for you guys to help you make as much money as you possibly can. Uh,
Mm.
and so it was just like I'd gotten to a place where like even last week I rewrote mine.
And it doesn't seem to be super easy to like get the full picture. And so I love some tips first about how you
Set that expectation that it's never going to be done, then people can like actually, I guess, like respect it and give it the respect that it deserves. But they'll also be able to like know that like, wow, this is deeper than maybe I was giving it credit for, Tim. And it becomes part of your life. It becomes part of who you are. And so I would say that probably just trying to set a different expectation.
yeah.
Um, I would say that really trying to like get them to see, like I think when you if you can get someone to write it and like have an emotion, like if your goal is to like, heavier vibrational emotions
Hmm.
that we experience,
Yeah.
like that's gonna be a thing that makes them like, okay, something's gonna click, especially if they cry writing it. They're gonna you can now like carry that into a conversation that opens up the whole world of that just of that one exercise.
Hmm. This visualization that I use for do you know the morning miracle? The miracle
Yeah, I'm
morning?
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. Do
Yeah,
you use that?
with Elrod, right?
Uh-huh.
Morning. For me, I'm very familiar with the Miracle Morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it has its similarities to like the Perfect Day. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I think that no matter what you do, like in the morning that brings you peace, I think ultimately that's like what we're all seeking. You know what I mean? Because it's
Mm-hmm.
that gratitude as soon as you wake up in the morning to go live that like best morning. It's you're in control of it. The people that you're responsible for, you can't give them your energy unless you like do what you need to do like
Mm-hmm.
in that like first hour.
Like, what did you do today to get ready for this?
um I have to work out in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
um so typically my morning looks like I work out. I go into the sauna, and then I do the cold plunge for like 2 minutes, and then usually I either read a book or read the Bible. And so once my day starts, I'm like basically doing for everybody else like the whole day. It's either I'm doing something for an employee or I'm doing something for a client, and I have to be able to like give to myself because as soon as I'm done with that, like I got to be able to make sure that whatever I gave to clients and staff don't doesn't like overshadow what I can give to my family, you know? And
You're making this about values because it seems like you can interchange it because my initial perfect day was about where I was living. And then if you're living where you want to live, now what's next, right?
I,
So you said you did that with your relationship with, stop making that. I hate when it does that. It's just the thumbs up.
I think that, as a high performer and someone who studies high performers,
Mm-hmm.
you can't set like a unrealistic expectation, on yourself. You know what I mean? I think like for me, it reminds me of like when I would travel and I would have like a daily routine of like what I would get done in a day for my business and for clients or whatever. And then when I travel, then I will wake up at like 5 in the morning, or sometimes even like 4,
Yeah.
depending on how the night went. But like I'll wake up early just so I can like get what I need to get done for that couple hours, get a workout in, and then like when everyone starts to wake up, I know that I can give my full attention. And I think the pinnacle of it is if you can like read it to yourself and also listen to yourself read it, like record
Mm-hmm.
yourself reading it as if it's you 10 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
and if you can read it like that and then listen to it like that,
Mm-hmm.
the gratitude of
Yeah.
like the word intuition, the intuition is almost like you knew something before you even knew you
Mm-hmm.
knew it, right? So like I always think of intuition as my future self coming to me now
Mm-hmm.
and giving me some type of insight. You got to look and see, like, wait a minute, am I getting the result in my life
Mm-hmm.
that I want to get? You know, like vibrationally, like is shit just keep coming around in a damn circle? Because if the same shit keeps happening, then I'm showing up the same way in some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
In some way. So, you know, we have a client right now and she's very vocal and, you know, but we're always kind of like, look, like you have drama in your life everywhere. You don't recognize the drama. And so if you have it in your perfect day where you're like, man, I my kids are they come up to me and they're so grateful and they hug me and they're so proud to share
Mm-hmm.
their accolades with me and the things that they do well, and when they mess up they make me feel like they'll never make the same mistake again, and like it's like you can project that energy onto your kids. I was watching you probably didn't watch it, but I was watching that Netflix special Receiver, and I love watching athletes, comedians, athletes,
Mm-hmm.
and like I watch, like sometimes I watch mega preachers, but some of them I don't have a lot of respect for. So that's another story. But at the end of the day, like this guy was like, he's like, dude, I visual like the way he does his visualizations
Right.
and the way he does his meditations and the way he does like affirmations and talks to himself. It was George Kittle, and like the way he plays football, he was like, I can like basically will myself open and will like what's going to happen on the field, but like it always happens up here first.
Mm-hmm.
And he has such a powerful like pre-game routine that like most guys just don't have, you know, and his energy just carries.
Is there something else in your program that's like the perfect day that you would be like, this is another thing that if you did it every single day for like 30 days, you could change your life?
uh if I had to say like on the flip side of that coin,
Mm-hmm.
probably creating content that you're afraid to create,
Oh, okay,
because
that's a good one.
you know, telling a story that telling stories that you feel like people are going to judge you for.
Yeah,
um I'd say that's like the yin to the yang of the opposite of like
that's beautiful.
the perfect day. It's like you look at content like you're sharing and you're allowing
Mm-hmm.
people like in, because that's just your way of like helping them and you becoming the person that you said you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be in that perfect day. It's you, you doing a what we call a legacy vlog,
Mm-hmm.
where if you were to pass away today and you were to think about your kids at various ages and stages of like, you know, okay, they're 10 to 15 and then 15 to, you know, 25 and then 25 to 40, like what would you want them to have access to out of your legacy blog? Like what would you want to teach them? What stories would you want to make sure that they know about you? That way when they have kids and they were like, man, like I never met, you know, Grandma Crystal, like what was she like? And you can be like, yo, just watch this and
That's so
I could
cool.
tell you more stories after you watch this. And I know that I think about that like with my dad. Like you know, I wish I had the stories that he would always tell me, like video style. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'd watch them every day, and I want to do the same thing for my kids. So if so when people are like, "Yeah, I don't know what to post or I don't know what to talk about," create a legacy blog.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and get in depth with that. And then the next one I would do is create a list of things that you've overcome in your life. You've overcome a lot in your life. You know, I've watched you overcome a lot, and I've watched and I
Mm-hmm.
knew all the things that you overcame before, you know, we met.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I've known you for a long time, and I know that you've overcome a lot of things. As humans, I think, especially high performers,
Mm-hmm.
and especially women, I think a high performing woman
Mm-hmm.
does this the most, where you overcome something and you downplay the shit out of
Right.
what it really was that you overcame,
Mhm.
and you think that, oh, like that's just normal, get swept under the rug. But because I know you seek healing in
Mhm.
everything,
Mhm.
and that's great. But at the end of the day, it's great to heal. But if it never gets put out in the world where it
Right.
can serve, then I think that limits who you become
Mhm.
in a way, right? And if you do those two pillars of like creating a legacy blog and really telling stories around the things that you've overcome and sharing a plan and a vision around those things that you've overcome,
Mhm.
like it always kind of seeps into the core content of like building $1 million plus
Mhm.
business, you know, and allowing you to like become that person, not just on the inside, but on the outside.
Right. And you know what's so cool is that I remember my vision I had when I met you, and I still see some of it, like reaping the benefits. And like, I was like, I'm going to lead an active family lifestyle. I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea what the hell that meant back then. And then I was like changing the way I was cooking and the way we were living. And now I was like looking around. Yeah, the kids were just crying. Yeah, they're annoying the crap out of me. Now they're quiet again. It's like, it's almost like the perfect storm in your life. You're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
learning to like jive with it. And then at the same time, you remember that you're living in the legacy that you.
An expectation that like this isn't a one-time thing, you know, this isn't just a thing that we do and then it's done. It evolves, and you know, life changes, like, you know, that, you know, life change in an instant sometimes, and we have to be able to have our conversations with ourselves.
Mhm.
We have to be able to have conversations with our creator and other people, and understanding that we are all one, and there's a reason that like we are yoked in the same energy, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
And it's not just about, you know, doing that shit alone,
Right.
you know. And so it's, you know,
Well, thanks for coming on about the perfect day. One
yeah.
last thing before we jump off here. I have to know three of your favorite books.
I would say still Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Yep.
That's like still number one for me. um The
Yeah.
Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard is probably
Oh,
number two.
yes. Beautiful.
um Number three, um I'd probably say The Compound Effect.
Oh, oh yeah, that's a good one. I have it
You
here.
know, I'm probably like always talking. I think I talk about that book every day.
Beautiful.
Um, those are probably like my top three. Um, I just think that if you, man, anybody on the planet that can like read those
Hmm.
three, you'll probably be in a good spot. And then read them again, you'll probably be in a really good
Right.
spot. Yeah, yeah,
All right. Thank you
yeah.
so much, Ryan.
That's good.
I
Hey, of
appreciate you
course.
coming
Thank you
on.
for having me on, and it was good to see you.
Yeah, same.
All right. Hey, good
All
luck
right.
today. All
Thanks.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye.